Welcome back to our Lean Project Canvas conversation. We've gone through our problem, defined our customer segments, we've identified our channels, we've looked at possible solutions that we're going to deploy and the readiness that we have for those solutions. And the next thing we want to do is look at our success metrics. And with the success metrics, we have leading and lagging indicators that we're going to look for. Here's what we mean by leading and lagging indicators. A good example is if you want to lose weight, then an example of a lagging indicator is when you step onto the scale and you see, okay, I'm 150 pounds or 60 kilograms, however that works out. And at that point, you now have that data, but that's data that you get now becomes basically past data. When you look down, you look at scale, great, I see that I'm at 68 kilograms. If you step on the scale and look at the number, that's not helping you get to that number. So that 60 is the lagging indicator. But things like I'm going to the restaurant and I'm going to eat food, I don't know how many calories are into that food. You maybe because you've read up enough, you can get some estimation, but you don't know how much of that you're putting into your body. If you go for the run, really you don't know how many calories that's going to burn, but you'll look at some number like, okay, if I'm going to run 1 hour a day for every day of the week, then you can say, okay, that's going to be my success metric to get down to that weight is I'm going to set up this goal. So if I run 1 hour a week and then call that success for my week, then I hope that that translates to my lagging indicator of showing that my weight's going down. But I also have to make sure that my calorie intake is good as well. So I might look at something like, hey, I'm going to make sure that I don't eat fast food this week. So 0% or 0 times going to my fast food restaurant. Maybe I used to go there, I don't anymore. So I'm going to look at 0% going to fast food restaurants. That's pretty good, easy leading indicator because I can predict that I can control myself from going in there. But also things like I'm going to look out for, I'm going to try not to, here's what we're saying, we're going to try not to eat added sugar. So no adding syrups or sugars to your coffee, no going out for ice cream, no adding sugar sweetener to your food. Then in that case I can look at, well, I'm going to call that 0, but I might not know some foods that I eat, if I do go out, may have added sugar. I just don't know that. But at least I'm going to try and control those variables as best possible. So with that in mind, then what we'll try to do is identify here what our success metrics will be for this business endeavor. Now, one of the lagging indicators we can look at when we actually take a look at our cost base, and this might be a little getting ahead, but let's put something down anyhow. We want an MRR, so a monthly recurring revenue, and let's just say we're going to set this at about 5,000 per month. So MRR for 5,000. And that would be a lagging indicator. We'll know based on when that customers are paying and we see that money coming in that we're at the point where we're successful. Let's try to find a leading indicator. For this one particular, we need prospects. So we need to find some way of getting prospects into the queue, and there could be an amount of foot traffic going by this place. So if we were to set up this place and then try to entice the foot traffic to come in, and we'll look at, okay, what is our success for that? We want to bring in maybe 5% of the foot traffic. Okay, so we're going to say we want to convert 5% of the foot traffic as prospects. This is a leading indicator because I can't predict this. And we're going to make some definitions here. We'll have our foot traffic come into our store because we want to serve them. and we want to convert them to a prospect. Well, what does a prospect mean in this case? A prospect perhaps is somebody that makes a booking. So if they walk in, they like what they see, and they make a booking for an appointment, then we will consider them a prospect. Now, we can also go a bit further and say if that prospect actually makes a sale, perhaps they walk in, they've heard about us, they say, you know what, we want to have a meeting right now, can you accommodate us? So we turn that into a sale. We'll count that as a prospect as well. So we have to make these definitions for our success metrics. So if everybody, you might have somebody come and say, well, this is interesting, I like the place, thanks for the time, and they walk out. From that, maybe we want to get that as a lead. So let's call we want to get 15% of leads from, okay, so for example, a contact is when somebody walks into the store, they're a contact at this point, and then we want to convert them into a lead. So when we convert them into a lead, okay, what does that mean? Basically, we get their info. So what do we mean by get their info? We get a contact number or an email address, so it's not quite a cold call. We're looking for permission. So myself, I like permission-based marketing, where the customer or client gives you permission to contact them. Either they sign up to an email list, or they give the contact information saying, I'm interested, let me know more. Then we'll get their contact information, we'll consider them a lead. So that foot traffic that comes in, they're a lead. Then when they book, they become a prospect, or when they have a sale, they become a prospect. We do have a customer, and perhaps this is where that prospect that makes a sale, we'll consider them a customer. So if they make a sale in any way, then we consider them a customer. And there's one more level. We might not have a metric for it yet. Let's just kind of thinking out loud. We have a member. So we have to look at, well, there's a couple of ways of looking at this. An amount of members could funnel into our MRR, and maybe we'll want to put a number at the number of members that we want to acquire per month. So as a lagging indicator, 20 PM, 20 per month of the members that we want to acquire, new acquisitions. And if we work that out, perhaps we can come up with an MRR that would do. But there's also, if we have a monthly recurring revenue that we want to hit, we can maybe put a time box around that. Okay, so we'll put a 6 month on the MRR and see if we can get 20 per month. And in the 6 month time, does that convert to 5,000? Now we have to play with the numbers and look at our cost structure to determine if this lagging indicator is one that's going to prove to us that we have a viable opportunity. As perhaps we're looking at maybe in 18 months, we want to make sure 18 to 24 months that we're hitting a certain MRR. Now we can project out what that MRR is going to be, but at this point in the exercise, perhaps we don't need to do that just yet. That may be additional conversation that comes up when we discuss this canvas over other ways that overall we want to spend the money. And let me take a moment on that. Is there may be an amount of money that investors or myself are willing to spend. This may be one idea where I want to spend that money in pursuing this sort of business model, but there may be other business models, perhaps starting an online e-education company could be a completely different model that we want to fund. So we'll put this canvas up against an e-learning education canvas, or there could be kind of a facility like maker facility where we have printers, like 3D printers, CAD systems, electronic components, and we can bring people in and they can build gadgets. That's another idea of a canvas. So where I'm getting at is putting these canvases side by each. So a little bit of a tangent there, but then now we got some success metrics that we want to look at. We can always refine and add more, but for the sake of keeping this pretty tight for this video, we'll leave it at this for now.